Hello, I'm Mike Agar. I'm a three-time startup founder living just outside of Toronto in Canada. My latest creation is Signal Flare, where we help people get their aha moments from their data analytics. It's best described as shared annotations in all of your analytics. And we help the 5 million companies that are using Google Analytics to measure their marketing performance. And we help them gain insights faster and easier by helping them understand better their the spikes, the dips, and the change in trends that they might find in their charts. We think that this best suits large marketing departments, 5 or more people, where they're starting to strain against the contextual knowledge that's distributed across the team. So maybe someone's responsible for the newsletter, and someone else is responsible for the podcast, and someone else is responsible for their ad performance on Facebook or Google. And all of these inputs go into what emerges in their Google Analytics. The changes in the traffic that they're measuring for performance. So understanding these charts when you have multiple influencers affecting them becomes a challenge. So we're looking to solve that communication problem by allowing people, in different parts of a marketing department to annotate their activities, such that when you look at those charts, you can find the nearest relatable event that might have contributed to, say, a dip in the charts. So an example would be, the CEO appeared on a podcast, and we saw a spike, immediately after, the release of that podcast, and we can attribute that traffic most likely was, the result of, that marketing effort. Or perhaps your bounce rate has gone up, and you're confused by this. You don't know what's going on. But if you could see that engineering had released a new version of the website, a day before, then you can go back to engineering, as the person who's responsible for these charts, and saying, hey, you're affecting our marketing performance. Something's wrong with that release. Can you roll it back? And just having that context there inside of your Google Analytics makes it very simple to get to these answers. Whereas in today's model, without it, you have to go around and poll it. The organizations, hey, what did you do? What did you do? It's very accusatory. It's also, it shows that you don't know what's going on either. So it's kind of embarrassing. So all of that anxiety around understanding the changes in your charts kind of slides away when you have, the inputs right there next to the charts that you're looking at. We're pre-beta. We have not released this to the public. We've built a handful of proof of concepts to explore different technological approaches. So there is some technology that needs to be invented to make this work properly. And we've gone through a number of iterations in an experimental way to find out the best version. We've had a couple of false starts where the technologies we chose started fighting back. But I've come to understand that when the code resists being written, you've made a bad technology choice or architectural choice along the way, and you need to step back and understand why it's hard to develop. And I've made a couple of choices that I was trying to force through, and those choices proved to be resistive elements in the process. And through my exploration of solving those problems, I think we're on a path now that the code is starting to flow freely. And it's coming together in a beautiful and elegant way, and that's really the ideal for me. I want to make sure that we're getting an architecture designed that supports the use cases we're imagining, and that those false starts are, again, those are the hard lessons you learn. It's like that's the wrong technology for this project, and having the maturity to not continue to force it is one of the things that I think will help us achieve our goals in the end. And we think we've landed on the best approach now, and so we're building the beta software. We want to get into some customers' hands who have volunteered to be on the beta in the next couple of months. So we're hard at work now, polishing up the system and taking our learnings and making it real. About 2 months after the beta program, with the lessons we learned there, we hope to launch publicly. There are features that aren't making the first version that we have ambitions to achieve in later versions. So we have this roadmap of ideas towards this end goal of the master plan. But milestones and engineering software are two different things, and they serve two different purposes in the modern world. So software is never finished. It's always abandoned. There's always more you could put into it. There's another feature. There's always, more performance you can, squeeze out of it. You have to tell an engineer to stop working on software. So we don't tell our engineers, any of these things. We let them iterate in an agile way, week to week, and pick a milestone or pick a goal that can get us closer to our milestone. But don't worry about those things. Milestones are really a marketing vehicle. It's something you can craft a story around that can be shared and related to our target customers, and that's really the distinction we have. Engineering just runs flat out as fast as they can all the time, and when you reach a certain collection of features that are a reasonable story can be crafted around it, we call that a milestone. And that would be, a release that we would launch with some sort of fanfare, in the marketing domain. I truly believe that you work on one thing until it's done, and then you pick up another thing. That seems like a really solid way to go about, keeping focus. So we don't work on many things at the same time. We work on one. Software requires deep focus to develop. We do practice time blocking. I try to arrange all meetings on a single day of the week, and the other 4 days of the week are available for the individual to do their work. And that makes it a little more cohesive, and it does break up the monotony. It gives us weekly checkpoints, that seem to be calibrated properly. But that works if you've got a team of mature, self-starting individuals. A senior developer can take a run at a 1 or a 2 week or even a month-long task, because they know what's expected. They know where they are and where it needs to be at the end. But if you have juniors on your team that need much more attention and care and feeding and support, to grow into a more senior role, then you have to get down to daily stand-ups and check-ins with the developer. What are you going to do today? What did you do yesterday? Are you having trouble? Tell me about your approach. Those things are useful depending on the scope and the scale of the work that's being undertaken by an individual. So our team, thankfully right now is all seniors, but we would have to adapt, to accommodate, the needs of someone who's working on a smaller time scale. We've got 2 on the team right now, and we're working in tandem. I'm doing a lot of the marketing focus and some of the engineering work. My counterpart is working entirely on the engineering work. We do a retrospective on a monthly basis. So at the beginning of the month, we evaluate all the work that was done in the previous month and note it. We celebrate the accomplishments. When you're working hard and fast, things that happened 4 weeks ago, you're kind of lost in time. So writing them down and making notes of them and saying, this was a real accomplishment, and keeping that log of accomplishments is very important. And in that same, retrospective, we talk about things that didn't work. What did we fail to do? What would we plan to do and didn't accomplish? What are the reasons for those things? How are we going to go about, correcting that? And that's where you start to gain acceleration in your development, processes. It's not from the wins, it's from the losses. The lessons are the things that make you stronger, and taking a different approach, having learned something about a failed approach is where experience starts to build on itself, and you can make better decisions in the future, and everyone gets better through some sort of lesson that has been learned. And lessons are always learned the hard way. You don't learn a lot from success. SignalFlare is located at getsignalflare.com. We have a sign-up form there, but depending on when you view this video, we should be in market. So please find us. You can find us there. We'll have links to our extension in the Chrome store, and that is the primary use is to install the extension on your browser, and then all of your analytics will come to life with SignalFlare providing those insights for you.